Morning, still 8:45. Yeah, you man. Catching up on videos, watching Trucking Piper there. Talk about some of the old days of trucking, where you're up for days. You end up seeing the black dog. I used to see shadow people, but my youngest boy, the knucklehead that he is, well, was. He's okay now. He settled down. But in his younger days, he would take off, go places, and then he'd call me and say, "Can you come get me?" But he didn't have a car back then. He wasn't taking Mama's car, and he wasn't taking my Jeep. He had a friend there that lived close by, and they moved down to Tennessee, down pretty close to Crossville, Tennessee, and they came back to visit, and he went back with them. He'd been gone about 2 weeks. I had just unloaded in Detroit and was getting parked up at the truck stop, sit and wait, get some rest, whatever. My phone rings, and it's the baby boy. Says, "Hey, can you come get me?" Well, I said, "I'm in Detroit." I said, "I'd come get you." I said, "But you're going to wait until I get a load going down there, because I ain't deadheading that far." Hung up the phone, and I called dispatch, and I said, "Man, I need to get a load going close to Crossville as I can." And they said, "Well, we'll put it out there, and we'll see what we can get you." And it was probably 6 hours later. Phone rings. It's dispatch. It's the dispatch monkey, as I called him. And he's like, "Got one in Toledo, and it's going to Crossville." He goes, "How's that work out for you?" I said, "That works out good." He goes, "Okay." He goes, "We'll put a bid in on it." Normally, when they would put in bids on loads before they'd call to see if you wanted the load, I would negotiate what I would do that load for, but I didn't do it that time. I just needed to get to Crossville. I'll take the load for what you get it for. And a few minutes later, we had Qualcomm, like Trucking Piper said, but we didn't have that big dome on our truck. It was on our cell phones. We had it on our cell phones, which is good, because I never liked that big dome sticking up on the truck. It just ruined the look of a truck. Still does. You see them. I got the ding. "You got a load offer." I got the information. I hit accept on it. Took off, headed down to Toledo. It was about 60 miles. Down to Toledo and loaded up 40,000 pounds of flour. Big 50-pound sacks of flour. And I had to be picked it up by then it was about 9 p.m. when I got loaded. And I had to deliver in Crossville 6 a.m. the next morning. Then I called the boy and I said, get your crap together. I said, I got to unload at 6. I said, then I'll come by and get you. I got down there, got emptied, called the boy. He says, yeah, I'm ready. He says, but you ain't getting no truck up in this driveway. When I got down there, I found out why. They lived their driveway was about a half-mile long back into the woods. I can understand why they bought that place, because it was cool. I said, I'll call you when I'm getting off the highway. You be at the end of the driveway. Got him picked up. Now, by this time, I'd been up 27 hours total since going to Detroit, going to get emptied out. It was about 27 hours. And I picked him up, and I handed him his logbook. He's like, what's this for? I said, you're now the co-driver. I said, anything happens, we're running on your logbook now. I went out of service, told dispatch I'm out of service. I said, I'll be back in service tomorrow morning at home. And they laughed. I got as far back up as Louisville, north of Louisville, where 65 and 71 run together. Because I was getting on 71, yeah. The longer I've been away, the harder it is to remember way back then. Got to a rest area and I laid down over the wheel, over the steering wheel for about 3 hours. Got up, took off. Got him home, gave him a good talking to about going places with no plans on how to get home. He still does it, but now he's got a car, so he's on his own. So. But I've seen shadow people. It'd be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been up for who knows how long. And the headlights would show something standing on the side of the highway, and it's like, what was that? And I've stopped and got out and gone looking, and there ain't nothing there. But those are shadow people. Another time he took off, another one of his buddies that he went to school together, and they were good people, but they moved to Arizona. And he came home for a couple of weeks. Well, he came back to Ohio for a couple of weeks. He wasn't home anymore because home was in Arizona. But he came home for a couple of weeks, and when he went back, that knucklehead went with him. And I'm like, great. You know how hard it's going to be to go pick him up in Arizona and bring him home? But he fooled us. He went out there, his buddy Chris, he worked in a copper mine. And he got Jake a job in the copper mine. Jake stayed for about 4 months. And then he finally had enough, and he flew home. My wife at the time, she called me and she goes, Jake's going to be landing at 10 o'clock. She goes, are you anywhere nearby to pick him up? I said, well, I'm in Toledo. And I'd been out 6, maybe 7 weeks So I'm in Toledo parking the truck, and I was heading home. So I left the truck out there in Toledo in the yard. Took off, picked him up at the airport. He came home with a pocket full of cash. That's how he bought his first car. So, just some of the crazy stories. That video where Doug had a back into a dock that was blocked in by a truck, and one time in Philly, I had to blindside in off of the street into an alley that had just enough room, had about 2 inches on each side of the mirrors, and back about 50 yards up an alley, and then blindside into a dock. That was fun. But I got it in there and got it done. Anyways, that just popped into my head, and I figured I'd go ahead and share it with y'all. Some of the craziness. Now my youngest twin, he's driving truck now. He's down in Louisville right now. He went to the Mid-America Trucking Show, which is the big show. I always wanted to go, but I never managed to get there. So he's down there right now. I was watching some of the videos and stuff. So I looked at him and he said he went and got his CDL. And I looked at him, I'm like, you sure you want to put up with that? But he does okay. He runs local. It'll come to me here in a minute. Lincoln Electric. He runs between the Lincoln Electric plants. There's 1, 2, 4 here in the Cleveland area. He runs between those, but he's itching to get over the road. I told him right now, you got it made. You got a company truck, got a new Freightliner. You don't have to cover costs. You got it made. Make your money. But he wants to go over the road. I guess he picked up the bad habit from me. Anyways, I'm gonna go find something to do. Life's a highway. Go drive. Hope you're well. Hope you're safe. Every day's a school day. You ain't learning, you're being left behind. I'll see y'all next time. Peace. Wake up.